You just press play on the Last Breath Huntcast, home of the Huntroversy. We're here to entertain, educate, and engage. And in case you didn't know, you only live once. But if you do it right, once is enough. Don't waste it.
All right, guys, we're coming at you kind of double dipping here. We had some news to release. We wanted to do it with these guys, so it's going to be released on our platform and theirs, which in the end reach more people and kind of make this collab official. We're sitting here with the Last Breath guys, Grant and Garrett. Appreciate you having up in your studio to podcast again before us. So
we're just happy to have this, man. We're excited as much as you guys are. I think this is going to be the beginning of something pretty awesome.
So this episode is going to be a collab of kind of our style and their style, and released on both platforms. I think it's going to be actually pretty good. We're kind of like trying to figure out how to play this out, but in the end, once we start bullshitting and talking, it always ends up okay.
Yep, I would say so.
Pretty solid. So, well, we're at your guys' house, so go ahead. You got it. What you got?
Sure. So, like you guys said, it's Grant here. I'm the one who's talking right now. Garrett's the one across from me. Say hello, Garrett.
Hello.
And then we obviously have Ryan and Cody. And this is a reminder that every Monday you can listen to a brand new episode of our podcast. We call it the Huntcast, home of the Huntroversy on iTunes, Spotify, and Libsyn. And every Wednesday on Prime Rib Day, you can still tune into the Whitetail Legacy Podcast.
Right in their ear holes.
Right in the ear holes.
I really like the Huntroversy that you guys came up with. I listened to some of those. I'm like, man, this is good stuff. I think if more people would listen or find it, they would really like it. Because some of them are like, you start listening, you're like, damn, I don't really know what side I'm on. And it's good that you guys kind of have the same personality, but you kind of have a little bit of a clash sometimes. And I think that adds to the episodes, you know what I mean? Because
mostly just when it's how wide deer are.
yeah. But I mean, that adds to the episode. Just like, homie's always the guy that's bringing me back down, like, you got to say this, you got to do this. I'm like, I need that in my life because I forget half the shit I'm supposed to say at the beginning.
One thing I do like about the Huntroversies is you guys bring facts to the table, present the facts. That's something that gets lost in the industry very quickly, I feel like. And it's nice to hear the facts about what you guys are talking about most times. And then you can get on to which side of the table you guys are on. And then also discussing the other side of it, too. So.
There's never been an episode that I listened to that I didn't, like, Google something or dig into more of, like, the stuff going on. Because most of the time I'm like, holy shit, this really happening out there? Because I'm not real in tune with, what's going on until someone puts it in front of my face, and then I'm kind of in it. But
when we came up with that idea, Garrett was the one that came up with it. We wanted it to be super objective instead of subjective. It's really easy. I feel like hunting podcasts especially have given a way for outdoor industry influencers, podcasters, people in the industry in general to go on what I would like to call a rant. And I feel like this is like the acceptable place to do that is in, the podcast world. And I feel like it's really easy to get ranting on some, a hot button issue. But that was the thing that we wanted to do when we started the Huntroversy, was to make sure that we covered both sides equitably. Like me personally, I'm a mechanical broadhead shooter, but I'm not going to, be pissed off at a guy that shoots fixed. But I want to talk about it, and I want to talk about why each person shoots what they shoot and the benefits and drawbacks. Just like the other day when we were talking about neighbors. Would you rather have a very experienced hunting neighbor, or would you rather have a very novice hunting neighbor? And I feel like that's, a scenario that lots of people are going to put themselves in their hunting career at a time or two. They're going to have the guy that's banging down the big deer every year next door, but they could also have the guy that's his very first year hunting. So it's just interesting food for thought more than anything. We're not trying to pit any one side against one another. We're just, it's kind of just a collective idea to just kind of express your thoughts and opinions and things like that in a good way while examining both sides.
And it's brave, too, because you're kind of putting yourself out there, which a lot of people don't. You know what I mean? They're too scared to talk about the edgy stuff, and you guys are just sending it. So
there's been several where, like, we have a little group text that we got going on, and I'll be like, What'd you guys think of that one?
Yeah.
Like, honestly, did we cross a line there? And you're like, you get to ruffle some feathers, but
close.
But
it's
you,
good
you
to
covered
cross
your
a line.
bases.
It's good to cross a line though, because there's very few people out there crossing the line. Everybody's playing the edge. They're worried about what people will think about them. They're worried about this. They're worried about that. And like I said, like Grant said, you guys do a good job of covering both sides, fairly. But then you state your opinion. Everybody's entitled to opinion, and the listeners might not agree with you, but they also might listen to some of your opinion and be like, well, shit, I never thought about that guy's side, and it kind of grows on you over time. Or there's just maybe some hard-headed guy out there that's like, nope, this is it. This is how it is.
My way or the highway, I'm a fixed broadhead shooter, and I don't even want to acknowledge that mechanicals exist in the world ever. So.
Well, the real reason we're here, though, let's address the big elephant in the room, right? And you guys break the news.
So the news is all our video content and the YouTube side we're going with Last Breath. And the main decision behind the reason behind the whole factor was friendship. We got together the last 3 years, me and homie. We were talking about the funnest times we've had, like the funnest times, because when you do something over and over and over, it gets monotonous, it gets tiresome, and just like our last episode, without change, shit dies. It gets stale, and that's what we were talking about this year. We love podcasting, we don't want to lose that, but the video side was kind of getting stale for us, and we thought back to where do we have the most fun, like in the hunting industry or doing something hunting related, and it was always with you guys. Like every time the ATA show, the launch party, coming up here and podcasting, just talking on the phone. We trust you guys, as brothers, what I mean? And it's hard to say here, we're going to do this. This is what we're going to do. But we've talked about it multiple times. Like, man, I wish we could just do that. Like, I wish there was a way we could just go for it. But it comes back to, man, you put all this work in, you bought all the gear, let's try this on our own. But it comes to a point where you're like, it would be better off suited for both parties if we could just get together. And there's not a lot of people in the industry that are open to that or doing that. There's not a lot of people that are going to go say, okay, I'm going to lose this part of my brand and give it to them. And there's not a lot of other people that are trustworthy enough to say, yeah, we'll add you guys in, because it's a big risk. You know what I mean? You guys know us, better than another staff or maybe that you have, because we're close. We talk a lot.
Oh, we don't have staffers. That's the thing.
Yeah.
We've said it openly. Like, when we set out to do this, when Grant and I did, we're like, man, we just don't want to have that dynamic. And that's why we kind of have best friends as teams and best friends as part of the group. We've wanted to expand our group. Grant and I have talked about it for probably 16 months now on how do we be able to tap into just generating more content, right? The people that watch our stuff and listen to our podcast and follow our social, they're always yearning for more, because there's only so much that really 4 or 5 people can produce. And we just struggled with the confliction. It was like, okay, well, this guy's a good hunter and he's shown interest, but he's not one of us, right? We don't text each other. We don't have a group text. We don't snap each other. I don't get pictures of homie's balls,
Yeah. You get me every time on the snap. I'm like, I'm going to open it up. Shit.
And so, that's why, it was a no-brainer. When this kind of started happening and talking, you're right. Everybody kind of wants to be hesitant at first because there's these dynamics, right? You guys have a very strong, prolific brand, and we want you to keep growing that. And we obviously want to keep growing ours. And it's like, well, this is just, why not? And how can we do this? It's right that we lift each other up, that it's a symbiotic relationship. It's not one-sided or you're coming on to us or vice versa. It's a collaboration is the best way that I think we can put it. And it works. You're friends of ours. I mean, ever since the beginning.
Yeah, ever since we went to that first launch party, we were blown away, not just by you guys' quality, but your professionalism, how you could have kept all that gear yourself, but you're giving it away to other people. your humbleness. You hung around. You didn't know us from anybody, and you're like, oh yeah, we're going drinking over here. You're inviting us out.
I remember that freaking first night. Yeah. Homie's like bashing this company that we work with, and we're like, dude, have you ever even used it? It was a freaking hilarious that first night. And we must have been. Oh, we were all plastered.
We were all plastered. And that, then it goes to, we're at ATA the first year. It's insane. Then the second launch party, we're just trying to help out just because, we enjoy your guys' company. We like hanging out, and we were talking the other day. We don't have really close hunting friends. We have very few.
Right.
And if they are our friends, they live far away. There's not like you can just say, oh, I'm going to go hang out with, Grant this weekend. We can do that, and we can make that happen. And there's stuff that I think we can offer you guys. There's definitely, you guys have way more knowledge in this kind of field than we do. The video guys, our quality is getting better, but you guys have already taught us so much just by text messaging and do this, do that, do more of this, and that we want to grow just as, any way we can. And you guys have helped us grow, not only, camera gear guys, but as hunters, as, getting our fitness in check and shit like that. You've been motivation to really step up our game. And we just had a conversation after we recorded our last episode. Mm-hmm. I don't think me and homie has ever been more solid, like together or individuals as husbands and dads and friends, and
I wish we would have had that conversation before that podcast, because then I feel like the podcast would have went differently. But last February, March, I was in the space Cody's in now, and it's cool to hear him say kind of where he's entering into, because I was there last year, and we take a lot of pride in being dads and spending as much time as we can and being interactive with our kids, and the same with being a husband. And when you think that you're solid and you're doing, you think you're doing everything right, and you are, but where we were or are now is a totally different space. And it is, just like we said on the last episode, is when you're at that point that you're so at peace with yourself, then you can help other people and make your day better just by saying, well, I texted you guys like 2 weeks ago. I said, hey, I hope you guys have a good week.
Yep.
Like nobody does that.
Nope.
Yeah. Most times, but it's just part of who we've grown into, I guess. And just like Cody said, you, Matt, Jesse, Logan, helping with the fitness side of that, you put out content on your personal story. I consume it, motivates me. I go out smashing the gym.
Oh, you guys have done some serious work. But here's one thing that I want to say. The last podcast we did, a quote that you said, Cody, that stuck with me. You're like, I want to build the biggest brand that I can. And he's like, you said, I want to have the tallest skyscraper in the city, but I want to have it not because I knocked everybody else's down, but because I built it above everybody else's. And like that, I've never forgotten that. That's a perfect analogy. And that's like very, very synonymly how we think. We're the same way. We're here to help anybody we can. Mm-hmm. Grant's helped countless people with video editing, podcasting, etc. So, I have shared literally all of my hunting tactics with new guys, all of my video or letters on how this is how I get permission, right? This is how I get a lease. And that's the way that we want to be. I mean, if somebody once told me, if you're the smartest man in the room, you're in the wrong room. Mm-hmm. Like you constantly want to surround yourself with people to make you a better person. Yeah. And so I think that's just having you guys on it's easy. It's a no-brainer for us. And I don't know, this year could be incredible. 2021, it's off to a little rocky start on the White House Capitol side of things. Yeah. But in the timber, man, we have some good stuff in the works. And I mean, really, this season isn't even over yet.
No. Yeah. And then not only on the fitness side, but when you guys kill, we're like, hell yeah! It's like we got it done a little bit. We're always out there like we know these guys are gonna kill. They're out there, absolutely savages out there in the woods. So we're like, we got to get this shit done.
I remember the day you guys killed on public. We were like, oh fuck yeah! Like, send me a picture. Come on! Like you called us. Yeah. We were jacked up.
Oh,
it
yeah.
was during our rutcation. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like going back to like our group as far as the last breath goes, we don't ever want to lose that. Like that luster, that true like awesome feeling for other people succeeding. Like it just feels great. You're so happy for that other person to get it done because you know how much it means to them. Like that's what we want. We don't want you to have some random cameraman or some random guy in Ohio or Kansas or Missouri, just off the grid that you talk to 3 times a year. No, like it just makes sense.
I'm gonna say the Last Breath team, you guys get to see the work that everybody puts in, the ups and the downs, and that's why it's so cool to be able to share it with you guys now, is because you're gonna appreciate it just as much as I'm gonna appreciate you when you kill.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Just going back to that first, the first time we went to the launch party, we were just like, damn, this is where we want to be. We want to be hanging with these guys. This is why we started the podcast, so we could find these dudes out there that we didn't know. I mean, we didn't know your launch party existed, and it was 10 minutes from your house. Like, if we wouldn't have had the podcast, we might not have went there. And we say it all the time, friendship is the best thing that's come from the podcast. And this, hopefully what we start here just compiles to, we put our skyscraper on top of your skyscraper, and, we keep going.
Boom, baby.
And just try to be the best we can and add value to an already incredible brand. I mean, that's on our end. We want to, we want to do the best we can for you guys, because you guys have already created something that's very valuable and top tier, I believe, you know what I mean? And hopefully we can, make our video camera work as good as you guys have done it, because you guys have crushed the game.
Yeah, that's just what I was going to say. Like, I remember sitting there watching your guys' launch party, and I just remember like kind of looking over at Cody, and he just kind of had this look in his eye like, holy shit, like, this is it.
Wait till this year.
I felt the same thing, and just like Cody said, that's where we want to be, and we bought the cameras, we got all the gear set up, and it's not as easy just going out there and thinking you're gonna film some deer. You got to get that stuff in and out multiple times, and learn how to run it. Get everything set up for when it's dark, when it's when it's bright out. So you guys have helped us a ton with that, and it's kind of starting to venture outside of the hunting realm for me and Cody. We videoed a wedding in October with Jesse. I added Jesse in there. I said, hey man, I'd really like a third guy, just so we're not spread so thin. And I almost landed another wedding last night, but couldn't make it happen. So that would have never been in the realm of possibility 3 years ago, but here we are. People are asking me, hey, can we get something lined up for that? So that's cool, and that's something that you guys have no idea it's made an impact, but it's from you guys. So,
well, Cody was texting me the other day. Maxim called him centerfold. I mean, it's crazy.
He's gonna have to shave for Maxim.
A little bit of manscaping. Yeah. But talking about what they said, Grant, thinking about, I think 2 of the coolest things, bar none, that have happened from this is friendships. What you said, in memories. Like, we've had, just to rattle off some people that we've met in the industry that have been like long-lasting friends. Jake Hofer, obviously, is one. We started with him when he was in college. Brian Morley, Shane Jones, Mike Lemansky, Pete Gentry. Like, these guys are like people we talk to all the time now on the fly. And when you think about some, I don't know, company connections, like Kayla Howard, she's moved a couple different companies, still a really good friend of ours. Mm-hmm. And when you start getting into like some of the other bigger names that are out there, it's like, man, we kind of rub elbows with them, like Blake at Badlands and Tim Ensley at Badlands. Like, we know them now as friends, and it's pretty cool to see that. And then you look at the memories, and there's a lot of them that are in a deer stand or out on the stalk, but like you guys talked about, some of the funnest ones were like the parties, like your birthday party.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
That was a ton of fun. Like that ATA show, the last one. Dude, there are videos that nobody will ever see. There are videos that no one will ever see But it was so much fun. We were all wounded soldiers the next morning.
Oh God!
I was almost literally a wounded
Oh, well, don't worry. We had a green beret on our side.
Yeah.
So it's
Shout out Mike.
We're never doing a 32-ounce giraffe chug ever again. You can. I'm not gonna do it. When they're like, "Who can chug beer?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I got this." And then they do a 32-ounce cup. I'm like, "Oh shit, should have backed up on this. Should have seen
It was the
cup."
PBR. It was PBR. That was terrible.
The bucket of PBR before I went in there. That was bad.
Do you guys? I just remember like the last thing of that night is there was that bartender that was giving out free shots down the titty luge.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
You're just like bending out under the bottle.
Yeah.
They're just pouring it out. I was like, oh God, this is not
And
getting
you
in
think
well.
about like now.
The titty luge.
It was. She had big old fake boobies shoved together and like. Now with COVID, there's no way that would happen. There's a line of guys like just ready to go right in after the next guy.
Yeah. No.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
One thing I remember from that night is we got robbed on the beer pong championship. It had a substitution.
That guy was a
to the
shark.
bullpen.
He was a shark, though. That guy was solid.
That
He was
guy,
really
sharpshooter for sure.
He's been doing it for years.
We played him 3 times on 3 different teams.
Yeah. We barely beat him twice, and then the
and
third
then
time he got
just-
us. And we were so done by
They
then.
brought out like 128-ounce towers for
Yeah.
us because we're in the championship game of beer pong.
I know. Oh,
Good
yeah.
time.
I'm like, you can't beat this right
Good
now. It's
times.
free beer now.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, you got some stuff wrote down. Let's get back to the script here.
No, we're good. Yeah, I had written down here. Why? Question mark.
I think we covered it.
We kind of covered why. I think a big byproduct of the answer why is, geographically you guys are so close. It makes a ton of sense for us to team up. I'm a personal big fan of the podcast. Like I love listening to it on my way to and from work. I think I think my favorite thing about you guys, and it stuck with me just like Garrett's quote, was that first night that we met you guys, you came up to us and asked us if there was anything that you could do to help us. And that's the kind of people that I want to surround myself with personally, whether it be friends, business, etc. Just because I feel like I can count on, I would need all my fingers and all my toes to count on the number of people in the outdoor industry that I've helped with a video problem, with setting up a podcast, with getting their videos produced, getting their videos put on a certain platform, etc. And I could count, out of those 20 plus people, probably on 3 fingers or less, the person that's returned a favor to me, and you guys are one of those. So in an industry there's lots of opportunities to be more or less a little slippery and kind of one-sided, and kind of I'm only going to do this how it benefits me, etc. And then I'm just going to kind of be on to bigger and better things. I know that you've helped with some noteworthy people in our area forming their LLC, and I've helped a lot of people that are we rub elbows with occasionally on some video stuff, and never really been told thank you, but it's refreshing to find people like you guys, and that's what stuck with me is just, man, these guys are just really good people. And I think that if you're a fan of the Whitetail Legacy podcast, that echoes through, and that's why you keep going back. It's it's not necessarily because they're going to talk about the deepest dive of strategy like the Wired to Hunt podcast. It's not like they're going to kill 200-inch deer like Chasing Giants with Don Higgins, but it is that all of us are people that have jobs. We have a limited amount of time to kill deer, and we're just all pointed in the right direction of just being nice to people. And I feel like that's really important in life. And I feel like sometimes it's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel when you see, people that aren't that way being successful and things like that. But I keep telling myself that, it's worth it to find people like you guys and to form relationships with people like you guys. And it's just so refreshing to me, just because Garrett and I have been at it for a while. We've been recording our hunts for about 12 years and been producing it for 6 or 7. And it's nice to just find people like you guys that aren't in it for something. And we really appreciate that. And how your friendship and how close we've gotten over the last 3 or 4 years. And that's where I'm at. I just can't tell you how glad we are to have you guys be a part of this and contribute and really looking forward to sharing your adventures and your film and everything with the launch party and on all of our outlets and stuff like that. And I think that, you know, going forward, you guys are only going to get better and only keep improving. And we just really like everything the Whitetail Legacy Podcast stands for. So when you guys said you wanted to team up and, you know, be a part of the Last Breath and generate video content and, you know, help us grow each other and our brand as much as you can, I know that it was basically a no-brainer for me.
Yeah, just like you guys obviously know, you know, the YouTube algorithm and the struggles trying to do that and how much content you have to have regularly to you know, make an impact there and get it to where you feel like you want it to be. With 2 guys, let alone you guys, you know, running 6, it's tough. And, you know, we're like, who can benefit from us videoing our hunts, you know? And we've had some pretty damn good hunts and been able to capture some decent film. So, you know, we just kind of felt like that it would be the right fit for us to come to you guys. And, you know,
there's a lot of teams out there that I see, and nothing against them, but they're stuck. Yeah, I just feel like they're stuck. They're doing the same thing every year. They're not trying to grow. You guys are always trying to do something different. You're always trying to improve, always adding something, and I take value in that. You know what I mean? I want to be where it's going. You know what I mean? I want to be where I can be involved and I can help. And there's a lot of teams out there that start up. They're doing good. They're doing awesome. They have a huge following, and then they just fade out. One of the main guys loses interest that's running it, and I feel like if I'm going to, you know, be bought in, I got to be bought in all the way because you guys are. If you ran this half-assedly, I would feel like I was going to come into something half-assedly. You know what I mean? So taking the step into this, it's awesome. It's fun. It's cool. But, you know, there's a lot of responsibility that I feel that you got to commit because you guys are diehard committed to this. You know what I mean? So that's where I want to be. I want to be where I can be bettered by someone and their commitment's going to be more than mine no matter how hard I try. I know you guys are doing more, you know, you're committed more, you're thinking more about it, and that's where I want to be, where I can help the people that deserve it. You know what I mean? Not someone that's sitting back, reaping the rewards off someone's kill. I want to be the guy, this guy's been grinding for, you know, 12 hours editing this shit, or this guy's been talking to these guys and lining this up and doing this, when I feel like a lot of people are like, yeah, give me your film. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's a difference there.
There is.
You know, somebody just sitting back waiting on you to, you know, video that 160.
Have you killed yet? Have you killed yet?
Yeah.
We've been there. You know what I mean? We've been with that where we're partnered with someone else right at the rip, right when we very first started this. And have you killed yet? And they hadn't even been out hunting.
They didn't have a bow.
And they just,
you know what I mean? And
it's refreshing to hear that because that's the other thing I think we should preface. Not only you guys amazing people, just to the core, and you're friends of ours, but you guys are good hunters. You guys get it done, man. And that's something that's worth noting. That is not easy task. Like, it is something that plays a big deal in it. And also, what you were saying, Cody, is like having commitment and pride. I think Jocko Willink, if anybody knows who he is, he said, the root of all good things is dedication. Like, you know, if you're dedicated to anything, I don't care what aspect of life or what hobby you have, but if you dedicate yourself to it, you're going to, like, that's the root. That discipline is the root that takes hold and grows into whatever you want to fertilize it with. So, I don't know, that resonates really hard with me. So the fact that A, you're committed, B, you guys are killers, and C, you know, you feed off of other people's, like, motivation and work ethic.
Just like you said, you know, there's no one in this room that wants to be the best, but we all want to do better than everybody else, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? We all want to do our part to where no one else is thinking, man, this guy is slacking off. No one wants to be that guy in this room.
Right.
Everybody wants to be that guy who's like, man, this guy's crushing it. You know, and that's the vibe that I get, and that's why we're here. I don't want to be with someone where I'm thinking, and this guy is just not doing shit, and I'm doing it all. And I know that never happened. I will always feel like I'm not doing enough, and that's where I need to be because that's the only place I'm going to get better.
Yeah.
And speaking about a person that, you know, does that and kind of carries that mindset, I wish he was sitting to our right now is Jesse. Jesse's not here, but I feel like just when I think of you two and how you are, Jesse did something really cool this year for everybody that's listening that doesn't follow him. It's Hines.Jesse, I believe, on Instagram. And Jesse made it a personal goal of his this year to congratulate every single hunter, buck, big, small, doe, etc., on their harvest. And he said, every single deer that I see on social media this year, I'm going to tell the hunter congratulations. And that's a selfless thing that he did that took, 5 or 10 seconds out of his day, that made somebody else's day a little bit better. And I feel like that is the goal. And I feel like I see so much of you guys in Jesse and vice versa. And that's why you guys get along great with Jesse too. And I really appreciate people like that, just because, it's in human nature to,
be jealous,
view negativity and kind of latch onto that and to latch on. And the industry is so small and saturated. It can become so ticky-tacky, so gossipy, and just kind of cyclical. And I feel like Jake and I were actually talking about this on the way home from Nebraska the other day, and we were going to think about recording a podcast on it, but I'll touch on it now a little bit. And if you think about like a hunting season, if you will, like what are we coming into now that hunting season's wrapping up? Well, it's going to be shed season. And then what after that? Well, it's going to be turkey season. And then what after that? It's going to be food plots. And it's going to be going on a destination hunt out of the country if you're able to, like a person that's going to go hit New Zealand or somewhere way exotic, like high budget hunt in March. Other than that, then we're off to, deer, elk, mule deer stuff, antelope back in the fall. And we're going to ride that out. And it's just so cyclical. And it's like we're on this little Ferris wheel going around and around and around in the outdoor industry. When somebody fucks up, when something bad happens, people latch onto it like a leech. Like when the whole Buzzbus thing came out, when the whole Chris Brackett thing came out, that was hot news for so long. And it, people still talk about it just because there's really nothing new that happens in the outdoor industry. Sure, there might be a new state record that gets popped here and there occasionally that's like, whoa, blows the lid off of, a hunting season or something like that. But that's what Jake and I came up with. It's like you look at the same thing so often for so long, and it's so cyclical in nature that when something different and bad happens, it's easy to latch onto, which is why I'm so glad to have you guys, because you've never been like that as long as I've known you. And when we come in here, it's just nothing but fun and laughs. And there's a little bit of business to it, but I like surrounding myself with that too, just because it's negativity is just so cancerous, and it's easy to get hung up on it. And that's the aspect, if I had to pick one, that's my favorite thing about you two, and why I'm glad that you're jumping on here and going to be a part of our company. That is what I enjoy. So
that's just kind of the overall take that, I was just talking about earlier about the place Cody and I were at, is just eliminating all that bullshit out of your life and just surround yourself with like-minded people who are positive about most everything. Understand there's stuff that, is bad. There's bad shit every day. Mm-hmm. But, when you get around 95% positive people, or people that find the 95% good in everything, dude, it is a game changer.
Yep. And just to reiterate, I say that right?
No, reiterate.
Okay, that's why he's my guy. Reiterate, everything that was said. For our listeners, the reason we're here is because, having two brands is great, but there's going to be times where that was going to conflict with friendship, maybe going on a hunting trip, maybe being involved in something we wanted to be in, and we wanted to be all in. You know what I mean? And that's why we kind of did the public land thing with you guys this year,
which was awesome. You
did an awesome job with that.
Yeah.
Intro is freaking killer. Nice. Crushed it. You did it live too, so I mean that was a lot of stress on you, editing all that and getting it up. My kids ask to watch it all the time. It's super cool. But I wanted to be all in, just for our listeners. You know how we are. We take hunting seriously, but we take friendships even more serious. So we weren't going to be like, well, we'll give you guys some of our content and we'll do like a special series. No, if we're in, we're in. And that's why we chose to go this way. In a nutshell, was 2 years down the road there might be a mule deer hunt, or there might be, and I didn't want it to be a collab between this and that. I want it to be, we're going out there as last breath and we're killing some shit. I mean, that's what I want it to be. I don't want it to be the red tape bullshit. We're worried about this, worried about that. We're all in it together. Let's go out there and, I'm hoping there's hunts where, if a guy needs a step in and go on a trip and film, I go film them. You know what I mean? I want to go on trips. You know what I mean? I'm at that stage where my wife's working. That's a game changer, guys. Get your wives out of school and get them working. That's a game changer. That's helping out a lot. I'm at the stage now where I got a little bit extra money to do that stuff. You know what I mean? And I want to be like, hey, I'm going to go on a 3-day trip and film this guy and have an adventure.
Or go just like you guys' trip and the advice that the rancher told you guys, just go.
Yeah.
Just go.
That was huge, man. Just go.
Great.
Yeah, that was great advice. And it's hard to think about that, like, just go. Yeah, that seems simple, but it is simple. It's the simplest answer ever. You just throw all the bullshit on top of it that makes it complex.
That makes you second guess
Yeah.
and wonder if you can make it work and all the other crap.
You can always make it work.
Oh, yeah.
Look at all the shit I drive. You can make it work. I tell you that right now. You can make it work. So,
well,
That's a good way of looking at it. I feel like, there's like you said before, Garrett, there's two people. There's something about being unstoppable. There's two types of people in the world: people that are driven, and then people that are unstoppable.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I really like that thing about people that are unstoppable. If there's something of value that is worth doing in life, then you make the time to do it. And I just think that really resonates. You know, if there's anything that you want to do, you can do it. I think that we're all pretty good examples of that. I mean, we don't there's no law in the Constitution that says that that we have to get off of work of our day jobs and then go and shoot our bow and then go spend 40 to 50 hours a week hunting outside of work and get pissed tired and run down and edit videos and kick them on the internet and record podcasts and stuff like that. But if there's something you enjoy doing in life, you make the time to do it.
Or if it's important.
If it's important.
Everything's impossible until it's done.
Yep.
Period. The end. So
And just like you're talking about driven people, if you get 2 driven people, doing something, great. If you can get 6 driven people doing something, you could really make something happen.
Yep.
That could be, awesome for the people that have been there, putting in the work forever. You know what I mean? And that's all. I just want to be the guy in the back of the car, just pushing my ass off. You know what I mean? That's all I'm looking to be. And then when you finally get that sucker jump started, I can jog pretty far. I'll catch my ass up.
This is just going to be fun. This whole new year and even beyond. We've got some, if this is really big news for both of our brands, but Last Breath specific, we've got some really cool stuff in the works, and nothing has come to fruition yet. But gosh, if there were irons in the fire, they are red hot, and we're continuing to stoke that flame. And with you guys coming on and with Allie hunting with Logan this season, there's some really cool things that are going to just allow us to break some barriers to get into some other things that are going to be really neat. And that's with companies and going on these trips you talked about, and being able to put ourselves in just awesome areas to make the memories, to make the friendships, to do amazing things. Sometimes you have to go to amazing places.
Yep.
So we just got to go there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you got to find how to get to A to B. It's not always a line, but as long as you end up there, man,
got to
that's
try
what
to make it happen.
Hell yeah. So this is going to be a fun ride. I mean, I think in the short term, we're looking at it. We've got our launch party booked the 23rd. Come hell or high water, we're going to pack that theater. I don't care what restrictions are there, and it's going to be.
Which you got an answer on that the other day. So currently Iowa, which is where we're having it, is legal for 40% attendance, which would be putting us at
25%.
Oh, 25%, which would put us at
657 people.
So we would think that we would get that, doubled. And if we can get to 50% attendance on that venue and we could get about 2,000 people there, that'd be a win. Obviously, we want to pack the whole entire thing, but
right,
it'd suck to have to host it virtually again, because just hosting
we
it
will not. That
virtually
will not
just
happen.
doesn't do it justice.
No way, not absolutely no. But and the Adler, in full disclosure, Rick Palmer is the director there. He's been amazing. He's been awesome to work with, and he chuckles though. He's like, you guys are so different than most of the other people that we host. He's like, because we've been very hands-on. We want to help set up. We want to kind of get this. He's like, dude, usually the people that we have, it's we do everything and then they show up through the back curtain, And I'm like, well, that's one thing, but I'm like, you got to understand the people that are going to come to this. Like, if you try to tell one individual that they can't come in because of COVID restriction, I'm like, I don't want to be the person in the way because they're going through you, man. Like these are good old boys and gals, you know, God-fearing, gun-loving, hunting fools that just want to have some free beer, have a good time, maybe win a trail camera, a tree stand, or a bow or whatever, and just have a good time. And he appreciates that because I think the crowd that we're going to assemble is going to shake the walls of the Adler, and it's going to be something that place hadn't seen in a little while since the last Rodney Carrington concert.
The last launch party was insane.
The energy is just
insane.
cool.
Yeah, it was crazy. There was a lot going on. There were so many people. When the line was like out the block and around the corner and back further, I was like, holy shit. And you had me out there doing interviewing some people like a TV host, man. Terrible.
You did a great job.
Yeah.
You did a great job. So let's get into some of the Would You Rathers, right? This is new for your podcast. This is something that we kind of do. Grant comes up with these every time. I think they kind of make a large part of what the Huntcast is.
Yeah, so, I like these. I just
hit them with
There's something about, just thinking about things. I think if there's one thing I learned from being a broke teacher, I think the first year of my job after taxes, I made $24,800, which pretty fucking bad.
Of money.
Yeah, pretty bad. So lots of times I just go to sleep for fun or think about things for fun because I can't afford to go to the movie theater. But most of my days are spent around thinking about things that don't necessarily have a right or wrong answer, which is kind of, it works hand in hand with the controversy. But I just think it's fun to think about these things. But would you rather? We'll start with you, Cody, and then we'll go this way. Would you rather have an opportunity with your number 3 buck at 15 yards or your number 1 buck at 52?
52 clear shot.
52 clear shot.
Yeah, 52.
52, gonna send it?
I'm gonna send it, yeah.
Okay. Ryan?
This year at 52, yeah, I'm going number 1.
Magnum's going to look pretty good there if he's sitting at 52.
He looks pretty good at 52 compared to 68. We'll say that.
Oh, man. Yeah?
You know my answer.
52?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to roll that HHA.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull back that Matthews and
then touch her off.
Yep.
Okay. Would you rather go ram hunting or caribou hunting? Say you win a good little chunk of money.
Ram is number 1 for me.
Really?
Caribou. Okay. I have almost no desire to shoot a sheep or a ram.
Neither do I. Caribou is like damn near my number 1.
Same.
Oh,
Bucket list hunt, number 1.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know, man. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think to me personally, a sheep or a ram hunt, the allure to it is the hunt because you're way up there. You're not coming down. It's like you're going to hunt as long as you can literally survive. Mm-hmm. And if you can't get it done in that time, then you have to come home. But other than that, like the animal itself, just, I don't know, it doesn't do it for me. I would rather hunt any other ungulate species. I would rather hunt wolves, bears, mountain lions. Like,
what about an alligator? Would you rather shoot an alligator or a ram?
I want to shoot an alligator. Pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's up there.
I would rather shoot a ram.
I would rather shoot a ram as well. Number 3, would you rather shoot a 10-foot alligator or a 400-pound hog?
Alligator. I'm going to kill an alligator.
Gator.
Yeah, gator, duh.
Well, I don't know.
400-pound hog is big.
A 400-pound hog is huge.
What are you going to do, mount it? Are you going to mount that big ugly thing?
I know people that have hog mounts.
If I shoot a hog, I'm going to mount it, yeah.
Really? Those are the ugliest damn things.
They are ugly, yeah. They don't.
Everybody does an open mouth with giant tusks.
Yeah.
You're like, God, that thing looks
Jeez. Okay.
I've never seen a good-looking hog.
What about you? What would you rather shoot?
Well, I
know you'd rather do caribou.
Can you shoulder mount a gator?
With the front arms sticking out?
Like a T-Rex full sneak fucking looking thing.
No, a friend of mine has an alligator skull on his table, and it's a big alligator, too. It's like a 12-footer, and he's got the skull. Jesus. He's got the rug, too, but he has a skull all cleaned up. It's super rad. That's what I want.
all right.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather shoot a pig if I could kill him with my bow.
A 400.
You can kill the alligator with your bow.
They just alligators and like sharks and all those things that you kill with a bow.
Shark. I couldn't kill a shark.
What?
Nah.
Oh,
shit.
I would.
All of those
flog the hell out of a shark.
All those things that I see on the internet, I feel like it's just like, all right, we hooked them. Now come shoot them with your bow. Like,
would you rather eat an alligator or eat a wild hog, 400-pound wild hog. That would be tough.
What was
I'd
that?
probably rather eat an alligator.
Yeah, you'd rather eat an alligator.
But I'm just saying, like, I feel like alligator hunting is the mountain lion bow hunt
Yeah,
of
it
the
is.
water.
It
Meaning,
is.
you go up to a line, it's hooked on there, and then you pop them.
What about
You
the
know,
guys
he
that
comes
call
up to
the alligators, though? They do
That's
that.
a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do that. They do that where they call the alligators and get them to come out. That's like hardcore turkey
South
hunting.
Louisiana stuff
Yeah.
right there.
Like, every mountain lion hunt that I see, 90% of the hunt's
tree 'em.
badass. You know,
Yeah.
like the stuff with the dog is cool. Locating the dog with the collar is cool. The mountain lion, when it's in the tree, giving you that look, it's awesome. But then it's just this guy that hops off a snowmobile and waddles over to a tree and plunks a mountain lion and it falls out of the tree.
We
And I'm
learned,
like,
we
all
learned
right,
this year
okay,
from a
that's
guy.
probably not for
so
me.
we podcast with Scott this year, and they have a season for calling for mountain lion,
Mm-hmm.
where you can go out there and try to call
They have
them
a
in.
dog season and a calling season.
Yeah, I didn't
Whoa.
even know you could do that, but yeah, they have a season, and it's like 2 different tags you can draw, and then if you draw one and don't get it done, you get preference to the second one, I believe. But because he had a calling, he had a calling season tag.
And he's like, I don't know how to call him.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know what I'm doing, but then he ended up getting a dog tag also, so he was able to get it done, and his hunt was
Brutal.
he did it all by foot, like
I think
and
it
was
snowed like 2 feet or
yeah,
something.
see, and
hell
that's
before.
snow.
That's the thing.
badass.
I've heard that they're super actually physically demanding.
Oh, yeah.
The
He was-
dogs do a lot of the work.
He
but
was
I-
like, I almost died. He was like, I
Yeah.
sat down in a culvert, and he's like, if this mountain lion comes by right now, it could take me easy. So,
Number 4. Would you rather eat tag soup on the year or have an opportunity at your number 1 buck and you miss him? Cody? What do
oh
you think about
god,
that?
I'd rather eat tag soup. I can't handle that. Yeah.
Concerning the situation, I'd rather miss number 1.
Man, that would be devastating.
See, this is
It
a
would
hard
be.
one.
It would
and
be
I understand
devastating.
both of your answers because what I'm thinking is like tag soup is definitely there's no mental error on that weighs on you. But the thing that allures me about having a missed opportunity is like,
You're in the
okay,
game.
I've done everything right to give myself an opportunity. So like, but you don't think about that when you miss a deer.
No.
The only thing you think about is you just messed up, you dumbass.
Where's
Like,
the local bridge that's high enough to kill me because I'm going to jump off?
So I don't know. I think I'm with you, homie. I think I would rather have an opportunity, you know, just as bad as it would suck, you know, the ability to look back and be like, well, I put myself in a situation where I drew my bow and I released a shot and that's on me. And
Yeah, I mean that's all I'm asking for now is an
It-
opportunity.
it
Yeah.
would burn like fire, but it would also drive me to make sure that I, you know, shot my bow twice as much and practice every other scenario. You know, sometimes those really bad lessons are some of the best ones that you learn.
Yep.
All right, fair enough. That's
You-
a good response. I don't know. I'm torn. That's the hardest one I feel like in the group
Yeah, I
to
mean,
me.
here's one. Ask Cody and Ryan the question you asked me last podcast.
To Jim? Oh, would you rather eat tag soup all year long or
No, not kill anything all year long.
not kill anything? No turkeys, no out-of-state
Coyotes,
hunts,
no
no
nothing.
coyotes, no deer, or not be able to go to the gym?
one day.
Not one day, not one time.
You can't work out. You can't even
You
run.
can't work out.
Yeah, I'd take tag soup.
Me too.
I got it.
You can't work out at all.
No.
I know that sounds like
I was saying
that sounds like frat boy as hell saying that right now, but there is something if you start working out, not even if it's like it goes back to dedication. Once you're focused on something, you got to have it. It's just like hunting. If there was a season where you could not hunt, there's no way you would give up a lot to not hunt.
Yeah, and
Because you're still out there in the game with tag soup.
I was gonna say the other side of it is you had
Yeah.
probably some cool encounters or
yeah,
something.
if you
know,
say
you're-
don't hunt or don't go to the gym, F the gym. It's out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'll
Garrett
get fat as hell. I'll be out there barely making it up my tree stand. I gotta have it.
Garrett
the weight
weaseled
rating
out
of
and
this
said,
thing?
"Well, I'll just film you."
Yeah,
I was like,
that's
"No,
not
that
weaseling.
doesn't count."
That does count. He said I
Duh,
couldn't kill
doesn't
him.
you still get
count.
that. You still get those that adrenaline. You still get those.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
fair enough.
because you're out there to kill the deer, but you're also thinking, man, I'm gonna have like 12 good days this year where I get that close encounter, or I have a solid buck come by that I pass, or something happens to get that itch. You know what I mean? Filled. And
Yeah.
you would have none of that. I'd have to eat tag soup. But if it was no hunting or no gym, it would be I gotta hunt. It's
Yeah.
just all there's to it.
That's fair. New segment for you guys for 2021. I thought this one up the other day. Shooter pass. Specifically, we're talking about deer here in the shooter pass segment, and it's just a one-word answer, shooter pass. And then you can add in a little 2 cents if you feel inclined to do so. Number 1, opening day of deer season 2021 rolls around. You have a 138-inch 8-point stand-in, shootable broadside. Cody, shoot or pass?
Shoot, we were just talking about, I want to shoot one the first day. That would just be like, I would feel like I had a giant cock that day. I'd be like, yes! Finally did it!
Isn't that what WLP stands for? Wide, long penis?
No, it is.
Oh.
I would just feel like I was like,
Jesus
hell yes.
Christ.
Finally
What?
did it.
I thought that's what the acronym was.
That is the acronym.
We're updating the iTunes name.
We're going to get a lot more plays on accident.
Tapping into a new
They asked for 2
marketplace.
cents, not a nickel.
Oh, yeah.
Always giving more. he always got to have the leverage. A legit 138.
138 on the
like,
button.
It's legit, not just I seen a 140-ish 8-pointer. Like, it's a legit. So yes, I'm
He is
shooting.
138. Yep. Garrett.
Yeah, I'm shooting that deer.
Yep, absolutely. I feel like in my mind
That's
when
a big looking
that's
frame
a,
deer.
That's a big deer.
Yeah.
In my mind, when I think of a deer that's as an 8 over 135 clean, I'm like, damn,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
I'm gonna shoot him.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel like I'm in the shoot category as well with you guys on that one. This one's the hard one though. A 120-inch mainframe 8-pointer with good mass, so it it's not like your spindly 2-year-old caliber 8. He's got good mass to him. Like maybe he's 4, maybe he's 5, we don't know, but he's not big by a lot of people's standards. But he has a 10-inch drop tine,
Sucker's dying.
so
Yeah.
a 10-inch hammer handle.
Yeah.
Shoot.
I'm shooting him.
Shooting because that drop line is huge.
He's got the smallest G2
It's
on
hard.
an 8-pointer ever.
It's
He's got a 10-inch drop.
Yeah,
hard.
the drop time's the biggest tine on his
He's got
head.
Yeah.
he's got 4-inch ties, but
I'm
that drop is
passing.
giant.
You gonna pass it?
man.
With good mass, even I threw the good mass in there because
That just means his tines are shorter. You get that. You scored the deer.
I know.
Like,
I'm just saying.
I know.
What if he's 4?
No.
What if he's 5? What if he's confirmed
he's
5 and he's a
Now,
130-inch deer?
If he's
with
reached
a-
maturity, yeah.
All
But
right.
to me, a 120-inch 8-pointer, it just doesn't scream.
No,
West side with a
I-
10-inch drop.
I put with good mass on there as a disclaimer.
I know.
Okay,
That
next
doesn't
time I'll
help.
be more
That
specific.
doesn't help. Like, I'm just trying to think, okay, a 120-inch 8-point in my mind is pretty thin racked. Not, it's just not a big deer. But now I'm trying to think of a 120-inch 8-point with good mass.
I'm telling you,
think a
West
Pat's
side.
Son of a bitch
It's
has
a
got
Pat's
cigars for freaking tines. He's just like, look, got
Think
thumbs.
of Pat's deer.
Which one?
His freaking really heavy badass 8-pointer.
That's not like that 7 thing.
Yeah.
I think it's bigger than 120 inches.
It's not. It can't be that much bigger. It's got 14-inch main beams.
Yeah, I don't know. He's
I'm
heavy.
just saying.
He's heavy though.
But he's heavy as shit.
Yeah.
Badass deer.
Yeah.
I'd shoot.
But there's a difference
fucking
between
shooting.
good mass and like that deer. That deer's got like 6-inch bases.
All right, next time we'll use the word great. Number 3. Opening day of deer season 2021. A yearling doe hobbles in with what is clearly a broken leg, but it's a yearling doe. The Facebook gods shun you. How dare you? Look at her.
I'm
What do
a
you
killer.
think, Cody?
Yeah, I'm a killer.
I'm
Killer?
shooting.
Yeah.
Death sentence.
Yep, I'm going to shoot her as well. Fuck social media on that deal. And that brings us to the end of the Shooter Pass segment. So, yeah, that
I
was
wanted
fun.
more.
Yeah.
You want some more?
No. I'm just we can. It's a
Okay,
good, it's
I got
another
one.
good segment.
I got one.
Yeah, go.
Last day of season, a 125 6-pointer comes out. You have no idea if he's mature, not mature. Just a random buck comes into your few plot, and you haven't killed all year. I'm shooting the shit out of that deer.
That's what I call a December buck.
Yeah.
He's dead.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'd probably shoot that deer earlier in season. Like we've talked about this before. You answer first.
Everybody's got a big 8. Everybody's got a Big 10.
No.
Some people have a Big 12, but nobody hardly.
Zach Page has a
big
giant 6, and it's
Yeah.
like 23 inches wide.
Holy
Yeah,
shit, that's
it's
awesome.
ridiculous.
Hardly anybody has a Big 6 that you talk
Yeah.
to, and so I would take it. I would
Yeah.
definitely shoot.
We
I'd
had
shoot
a
that-
big 6 on the lease that we lost, and I told homie, I said, he's probably like 120, and in December that thing is gonna look juicy as hell out there. But he was probably a 3-year-old, but he still looked juicy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
still real solid.
158 class 3-year-old.
Yeah, dead. Yeah.
Dead.
So this is more of a would you rather. This is a good. I thought about this.
Shoot or pass.
Well, it's not a shoot or pass question, but since everybody's going off the handle, I thought of one that we were going to add. I was gonna add
All right, go.
So in Illinois, would you rather it go to a $1 state, or would you rather Illinois' firearm season mirror Iowa's?
Illinois firearm season mirror Iowa's. I love that season. Yep, that's what I'm going with.
Not their youth
I love
season,
that we're
though.
a $2 state.
I don't like Iowa's youth season.
I love that we're a $2 state, but I'll tell you what, it would lengthen out the season for us, because there's been, a handful of years. Not every year we do this, but typically one of us bucks out during our rutcation.
So the
by
thing
end
with
of it,
Iowa's, you're
we
only allowed
wouldn't-
one
we-
gun tag.
and bow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. It would lengthen out the season for us if we could, but it would be the right time.
I think what I would like would be $1 shotgun tag only, and then you can kill one with a bow, but just $1 shotgun. You cannot get $2 shotguns. I do not. That's the one thing I think they need to change. But I would probably go with Iowa's in that scenario, but X their youth season, change their youth season to a different date. I know it's youth hunters out there, but man, they dominate in Iowa.
What is going on here? The gun guy just said he don't want 2 gun buck tags.
No, I think that's. I've never killed 2 bucks with a gun ever.
We never really either.
And I mean, not because I always get $1 tag, and if you ever
So do
feel
we.
it, you
Yeah.
just. But there's guys out there that I know that killed 2 bucks with a gun every year. I feel like that would eliminate a lot of the bucks killed in Illinois if they went to one shotgun tag.
That's fair.
Yeah.
What would you rather have, homie? The
The
change
gu-
season?
The gun season with Iowa.
What about you? 1 tag? I feel like the age structure after like 3 or 4 years of that law being in place would be incredible.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like
It
it
would
would
definitely
change
save.
the answers to a lot of these questions. The shooter pass that I think you just gave us.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was my debacle, is like processing, okay, you have a tag. And the caveat to that is not so much the guys that are really coveting the tag. It's like what you're talking about, the $2 guys with gun tags. They only got one. So when they're one and done, they're done.
Mm-hmm.
So like 50% of the deer that, and I'm not saying they're deer or anybody's they're not. Until you have your tag on it, it's not your animal. But like it would eliminate 50% of the deer that you don't want to die.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Big or small. Just
Who
would.
knows? Yeah.
It just would.
Yeah, it's even on social media. Like you get in some of these hunting groups and you see like Kentucky open up and they get $1, and you see deer just start going down, and it's like, man, like your season's over.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
you can go out there and hammer some does, but like what you're doing's
Yeah.
it's all over here, bud.
Yeah, your bow season is over if you kill 1st of November.
Being a glutton, I like the Iowa setup because it would, you have 2 tags, but if we ever get to a point where we're hunting a deer,
I feel like if you did that, all the people that I'm only a bow hunter would gun hunt. So you'd have that added in there.
right?
So the guys that killed in October with a bow, they'd be like, oh, I'm going to gun hunt this year just so I can get back out there, but I really wish I could use my bow. No, they'd be out there.
right.
They wouldn't not hunt if they like hunting a lot. So you would have more shotgun hunters guaranteed if
Right.
you only had, but you can only kill 1 deer. So it would probably equal out to what numbers we really have. But I feel like there would be more people out there maybe trying to kill the big buck. Like they shot a buck with a bow. They're like, damn it, this other one just showed up.
Oh yeah.
They're not going to go, no, I'm only a bow hunter. They're going to
So-
be out there.
No right answer, I suppose.
No. Yeah, that's,
No, that's a good one though.
yeah.
For sure. Well, that kind of brings us to the end here, at least on our end. So Here's a really big announcement. Shed Kings. This is a new series that we're developing right now. It's in the works. We have 8 episodes lined up, and we're going to be dropping it throughout February and March. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to go interview 8 different people to find out what the secret sauce is to finding monster deer antlers. So people that have found, giant shed antlers in Illinois, Iowa, Indiana, in the Midwest, near where we're from here, and just ask the simple question, where did you find these antlers, in an effort to understand where are giant deer bedding, where are the mature bucks that everybody's been going after for the last 4 months, where the hell are they living during the late season? And I want to find that out. And so that series is going to be on there. There's going to be interviews from people that have maybe just scooped up one giant set, maybe multiple giant sets, and we're just going to try to understand where big bucks are living during the late season, and I think it's going to be pretty cool. And it's going to be kind of the wow factor, too, because I'm sure I've got a couple people lined up with some plus 200-inch match set of sheds and that are incredible antlers, so that's going to be pretty awesome. The Whitetail Legacy video podcast, that's going to be coming down the pipe here soon. Those are going to be live on the Last Breath YouTube channel every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. Everything from the Legend of the Woods series all the way from their tip tactic episodes with their experts and, a typical hunting camp story type episode. We've got some discount codes in the inner circle. Our public land series, for those of you guys that are a new listener to us and are coming, more so from the public land aspect inside of hunting, we have a public land series that these guys actually helped us develop on our YouTube channel right now. As always, in 2021, we're going to keep the Last Breath Lives rolling every Wednesday at 7 p.m., and that's pretty much all I have. Thank you very much for listening to the Huntcast. Thank you for listening to the Whitetail Legacy Podcast. Anybody got anything good or noteworthy to say before we shut her down?
Nope, I'm solid. Appreciate all the listeners, like always. Remember to try to always do the right thing. And Whitetail Legacy's out and Last Breath's out.